So I just wanted to mention that it is a small negative that sometimes it looks like there's no sign-up bonus on this card, but there are some special offers out there. So if you're going to get this Fidelity Visa, then just be patient and make sure you look around for a bonus. Now, I've also seen people talk about some extra value that this card is supposedly able to provide in the form of some travel benefits like auto rental coverage and other travel protections, as well as a luxury hotel collection that the Fidelity Visa gives you access to with benefits like room upgrades, complimentary breakfast, a $25 daily credit, and late checkout. However, even though these benefits do exist, the true value that they're able to provide is going to be questionable and not nearly as good as advertised. So, for example, the terms for the car rental coverage say that for domestic rentals, if you already have personal auto insurance or other insurance that covers theft or damage, then this benefit reimburses you for only the deductible portion of your coverage, along with any unreimbursed administrative or loss of use charges from the car rental company. In other words, for renting cars here in the US, the coverage provided with this credit card is going to be secondary if you already have car insurance. So in the event of theft or damage to your rental car, you'd still have to file a claim with your own insurance first, and then this benefit will kick in if there's still certain costs left over for you after that. What you really want here is a credit card that offers primary auto rental coverage. So I'll go ahead and leave a link down below to a few of those cards that offer that down below in the description. And that's because with primary coverage, you're going to be able to file a claim with your credit card against any theft or damage to a rental car without needing to use your personal auto insurance first. Now, there's always a bunch of other details that you want to make sure you go ahead and research and then understand when it comes to insurance in your own personal situation. But yeah, for many people, the Fidelity Visa's secondary auto rental coverage is better than nothing, but it's not some amazing benefit because it's not primary. Then for the luxury hotel program that you're going to get access to with this Fidelity card, this is referring to the Visa Signature Luxury Hotel Collection. And again, you can see all these benefits here that they list when it comes to booking within this program, like upgrades, free breakfast, and credits during your stay. However, what I want to point out here is that this program has a big emphasis on luxury properties, which you can see with brands like Peninsula, Park Hyatt, and Shangri-La that are listed on this page. And when you actually visit the Visa website to search around for places to stay within this program, you're going to see that these benefits probably aren't worth that much relative to what these hotels are going for. So, for example, they mentioned that Park Heights were in this collection, and I just stayed at the Park Hyatt Zurich the other month. So I went ahead and looked up the price for a random 2-night stay here in November, and it's going for $1,833 through the Visa portal. But if I just look up the same exact hotel room for the same exact dates on Hyatt's website directly, I'd have to pay $1,645 for this 2-night stay, which is nearly $200 cheaper. So why would it really be worth paying that much more through Visa to get maybe some very minor benefits? For most people, the answer to that question is likely no. And there's actually plenty of other premium travel credit cards out there that I would say have way better luxury hotel programs with better benefits that can really make your stays worth it in a more meaningful way. Now, not every hotel booked through Visa is going to be more expensive, and you should always be comparing prices and seeing exactly what you're getting before booking in any travel portal. But the takeaway here is that this hotel benefit that's sort of hidden within this Fidelity credit card is most likely mediocre at best because it's sort of just a generic Visa Signature benefit anyway. So I wouldn't get too excited about it. Also, outside of this Visa Signature Luxury Collection portal, the Fidelity Visa actually does have its own travel portal. That's kind of a hidden benefit on this card as well because Fidelity on its website doesn't advertise this portal whatsoever. With this portal, you're able to earn 6% back on hotels and rental cars that you book here, which is pretty good, again, for no annual fee card. But the same holds true that you always got to compare prices and what you get when booking within this portal to see whether or not it's worth it to book there or book somewhere else. Alright, now after talking about all these benefits, that is going to lead me to the number one feature here that people are... So, over the past few months here on YouTube, I've been seeing a sort of boring credit card get a lot of unexpected attention with a bunch of videos being made about the Fidelity Rewards Visa Signature card. Now, I found that to be interesting because this Fidelity credit card's been around for years, and it's always been a decent option for those who value simplicity. And that's because it's got no annual fee and it earns a flat 2% cashback on everything, which can then go straight into an eligible Fidelity account to invest and hopefully grow over time to be worth above of 2%. However, to me, this card's always just been okay and not something I'd necessarily recommend over a lot of other credit cards out there. But with all these Fidelity videos popping up, it naturally made me curious, and I wanted to see if I was missing something, and it turns out there's definitely a few good reasons that I think this credit card here might have quietly just got really good for a lot of people going into 2026. So in this video, I want to go over all this card offers and why it's actually a pretty underrated option for the average person. But I also want to explain why I'm still not convinced that it's the right card for everyone, including myself. And that's because there's one big issue I have with a credit card like this that basically makes it easy for me to say no to it. Now, before we get to that issue, let's start off here by quickly going over what this Fidelity Visa offers, because it does have a few cool benefits that you don't normally find in a $0 card. So first, like I said, there's no annual fee, which immediately is going to give this credit card a much wider appeal to more people. There's also no foreign transaction fees, which is going to be another benefit that's usually found on more premium travel cards. And then again, the one spending multiplier that you're going to get here is an unlimited 2% cash back on everything with no caps or category restrictions. That makes this a good option for those who don't really want to worry about keeping track of which credit card to use for different things. And 2% back on all spending makes this a competitive catch-all card that's going to fall right in line with the competition of other no annual fee cards that also earn 2% back on everything, like the Citi Double Cash, the Wells Fargo Active Cash, and even the Apple Card when Apple Pay is used. Now, if you read the fine print on Fidelity's website, you're actually going to be earning Fidelity Rewards points here. So they tell you that you're going to be earning 2 points per $1 spent on eligible net purchases. Those points can then be redeemed at a 1 cent per point rate into certain Fidelity accounts where you can then choose to invest those funds and effectively have that cash back grow over time. But just make sure you do not redeem those points for other options that Fidelity might give you, like gift cards, for example, because those are going to get you below 1 cent per point, which is devaluing those rewards. Now, Fidelity's website also says that customers with their credit card have the option to redeem the rewards points automatically each month into a Fidelity account, or you can choose to redeem them on demand whenever you want to manually move them over into an eligible account instead. However, they also mentioned that there's a 2,500 point minimum required to redeem points, which means that you basically need to earn at least $25 worth of rewards before you can actually invest that with Fidelity. But that information does seem to be outdated because Fidelity also recently announced there's no longer going to be that 2,500 point minimum for people that have been using this card for a while. I know that was a nice change that a lot of customers have been asking for because it's going to allow for more consistent deposits of cash back to invest. So you do have to give credit where credit's due when companies actually listen to feedback and then make positive changes like this. Now, another benefit that's really cool to see here on this card is that you can get up to $100 back in rewards points when you apply for either Global Entry or TSA PreCheck and then pay the application fee with this card. So with this benefit alone, you're going to be coming out with positive value, but that is going to lead me to the one thing that is lacking here in terms of benefits, and that is going to be a consistent visible sign-up bonus. So this Fidelity Visa doesn't actually mention any sort of standard welcome offer on the main website for this card. However, I did manage to find another link by just searching around on Google that had a bonus worth $150 after spending $1,000 within the first 90 days of account opening. I've also personally received a bunch of mail offers for this card over the years, with many of those advertising a bonus of some kind as well. And then I've also seen plenty of Fidelity customers